In this video, we're going to see the OnChange functionality of the checkbox field. I'm going to create an effect where when a checkbox is clicked or unclicked, we're going to show or hide other elements on that view. In this case, when PHP or Python is checked, a set of questions that are related to that language are shown. If I uncheck PHP, these go away. And if I uncheck Python, these questions go away. And again, when I click PHP, the questions show. Let's see how I achieve that using Graphite Studio. When you go into the Graphite project, and if you look at the Add Candidate view, I've created 2 new field sets. What I did was, in those field sets, I added 3 questions each in our sample. If you also notice, I set the show to no as the initial state of these 2 field sets. They will be hidden. The next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to choose this skills field, checkbox field, choose the form to submit, and save the view. Click on Add Behavior. This is the OnChange skills field. That will be invoked when any of the checkboxes are checked or unchecked. If you look at the start shape, because we had the whole form submitted, all the fields have come in as inputs. And that is because, in some cases, you might use the values of other fields as well as the skills fields to determine your change logic. In our example, we are not using any of those fields, so I'm going to remove all the fields that we don't use. In this case, it is pretty much every field other than skills field. In the rest of the logic, based on whether the PHP or Python checkboxes are checked, we are basically going to show or hide those field sets. Just as I did with set skill choices, I'm going to add a new behavior, and I'm going to call this behavior show or hide PHP. Save. In the start shape, I'm going to set some inputs. I'm going to receive the page instructions that as input-output as a list, and I'm also going to receive the whole skills field. It's a list of type skill. We have set up our inputs, and this page instructions variable will help us create page instructions. The first step I'm going to do in this particular behavior is check if skills field is missing. The reason why I do that is if none of the checkboxes are checked, the skills field is going to come to us as an empty value or null. So if skills field is missing, I'm going to hide the PHP field set. Here's the page instruction. And in the page instruction, I'm going to use the display page instruction. I'm going to hide the PHP field set. You can choose default or slide. I'm going to choose slide here so the effect is a little bit nicer on the page. The target element is going to be the PHP field set including all the fields. I'll click OK. If the skills field is not missing, then I'm going to use the list lookup shape to see if PHP is checked. The way to do that is, find one item from the skills field and I'll call it PHP skill. That's the variable name, and in the criteria, I'm going to say if the description is equal to PHP, but the right thing to do is not use as a literals, so I would do the enumeration, :PHP. That will give me the whole instance of that enumeration, and if I add dot, I'll get the properties of that enumeration. I can choose description. I'm going to add that. Click OK. That's going to look up the PHP skill, and if that variable is not missing, then we're going to show the PHP field set. So if it is missing, then we're going to do is hide the PHP field set. And if it's not missing, we're going to add another page instruction. In fact, in Graphite you have the capability to copy and paste shapes. So I'm going to copy the hide PHP field set instruction. Go in there and change hide to show, and choose slide here, and click OK. Once I've done this, I'm going to add the end shape. That's the show or hide PHP behavior. Similarly, I've created another behavior called show or hide Python, which is almost the same as the show or hide PHP. The next step is to complete the OnChange behavior by calling the two other behaviors that we have just created. I'm going to add a run shape here. Add candidate, show or hide PHP, pass the page instructions variable skills field, and overwrite the page instructions that comes back for that behavior. Once again, I'm going to copy and paste that shape. Connect it. Choose the other behavior. Enter the inputs as expecting to overwrite the outputs. That's it. We have now handled the OnChange of the checkbox field. We are now going to go do a build and see what the results look like. Go to the build, purge previous build, do a build. Let's go back to our browser and refresh the page. Let's test our changes.